Hello there, Alaskans, wherever you are. Welcome to the Must Read Alaska Show. Coming to you from somewhere in Alaska. This is the place where we talk about, you guessed it, Alaska. Where we keep the mainstream media on their toes and where we are standing up for what's right in a world run by leftists. You can find out more by heading over to mustreadalaska.com and also checking out the Must Read Alaska YouTube channel for some really great content. But first, let's get this party started.
Well, welcome everybody to the Must Read Alaska Show. I'm your host, John Quick, coming to you live from somewhere in Alaska. Man, we are getting some snow this year. In Anchorage, they have 100 inches of snow. I think that's only happened 3 or 4 times since they started keeping track of all that. So it is definitely an interesting year as it relates to snow. It snowed the last 3 days here on the Kenai Peninsula, and I'm looking forward to it being 60 degrees and sunny hopefully soon. We want to thank our show sponsor, the University of Alaska, for sponsoring the Must Read Alaska Show. You can check them out at empower.alaska.edu, and you can hear all about our show sponsor. We want to just really appreciate them for sponsoring the show and helping us get conservative news through all the nooks and crannies of Alaska. But without further ado, we have a returning guest. This guest is pretty awesome. He is the president of Palau, President Whips. Welcome to the Must Read Alaska Show again.
Well, first of all, Ali, and welcome, and thank you for allowing me to be on your show. And I bring you warm greetings from Palau. That's one thing that's consistent in Palau. It's 86 degrees during the day and 79 at night, and that's the temperature all year round. The only difference is you might have sunshine or rain.
I love that. And, we talked last time you were on the show about how you had a special relationship with our former Congressman, Don Young. And so, one of these days, if you haven't already, you're going to have to come visit Alaska because we'd love to host you here.
Yeah, definitely got to do that one of these days.
So you've been all around the world, literally. If somebody's paying attention to your Twitter, you are on a plane, zooming around, speaking at different world events. Tell me about what that's like, being somebody who's looked at as a leader as it relates to, climate change and those kinds of topics. I think that people look at you because your nation is an island nation and they want to hear about how the climate change is affecting your nation. And so talk to me a little bit about what it looks like to, to be that leader around the world and speaking on the world stage.
Well, I think one of the things that we always believe in here in Palau is that we're blessed. We're blessed to have a beautiful nation. God has blessed us with marine resources, forests, and the land. And so we always believe that we should be good stewards of what we have. And we should take care of what God has given us. And so, one of the things that Palauans have always done is the chiefs of the village would get together and as a management tool to protect resources, they would get together and say, we're going to stop fishing in this area for a certain amount of time to allow it to regenerate and come back and be more resilient and abundant. And that has worked. That's what we've been able to sustain ourselves for thousands of years. And really, it's just using those principles. So, Palau, we have been a leader in conservation efforts, combating IUU, protecting our fishery resources. We actually had a lot of people that came up to Alaska to learn how you've been managing your fishing resources, to see how we can adapt some of that and bring that into the local economy and how we can revive, really at the end of the day, you don't want foreign fishing fleets exploring your waters. You want it to benefit local people. And so it's really using those different principles and being able to share those with our colleagues in the Pacific and the world. So what we've always advocated for is that, we're a small developing country, but as a large ocean state, one of the challenges that we have is being surrounded by water. Climate change is real to us. We live it every day. We have sea level rising. in my lifetime, it's at least going up about 6 inches from what I've seen. So, and then at certain tides, docks are overrun, which never overrun when I was younger. But it also inundates our taro swamps, which is taro is an important staple that we depend on. It's like our rice or potatoes.
Yep.
And then recently, one of the challenges we've had is with global warming, with the extreme heat. We've had droughts, but with those droughts, the extreme heat in the water causes coral bleaching. And then we have some very unique jellyfish that are in our waters, and they're stingless that you can swim with. And those jellyfish in '97 disappeared. Then again in 2017, they come back about after 2 years. And then just recently, this last year disappeared again because of those extreme weather events. So, we live it, we see it. And so we feel that it's our duty to do what we can. So we believe protecting our ocean is important because our ocean is the largest carbon sink. We shouldn't be deep sea mining. We shouldn't be clawing with deep sea trawling, but that releases carbon. We also believe that we should protect those resources. We also believe that the biodiversity we've been blessed with it's our responsibility to take care of. But we can't do it alone. Palau just making its efforts is not going to make a big difference. So that's why, we go around, we try to get the rest of the world to come on board and say, if you can transition to renewable energy, please do, because it helps us. If you can adapt the policy which we're trying to promote around the world, which is 30% protected by 2030 of all your marine areas and 100% managed. And that we believe that should apply to the BB&J, that's the boundaries beyond national jurisdiction. And so we think that this climate change issue is a global issue that all of us must look for solutions together, and we believe it can be a win-win. We can become energy producers. Now, one of the things that we're doing in Palau is 20% of our grid is going to become solar.
Nice.
Energized. So that's doing our part. And so what's interesting is we're going to be able to do that and reduce power rates because it's cheaper than us using diesel today to power our grid. So it's a win-win. And I think that's the story that we need to share is, you can make these changes, but it'll be good for both sides. It's not so.
I like that. So it seems like you have a good relationship with the US. I have seen on Twitter where you're sharing a stage or a podium with John Kerry or different other officials in the US. Talk to me a little bit about your relationship specifically with the US and how important that is to your country.
Well, back last year in April, Palau was fortunate to be able to be the 7th host of the Our Oceans Conference. And that, started in the US, and before Palau was Bali, then before that Norway. And this year it was held in Panama. And that's really, that conference brings together nations to talk about ocean issues, illegal fishing, plastic pollution, biodiversity, and just, how do we really make use of the ocean to optimize its benefit to the people, the people of the world. And so last year, we co-hosted it with the United States, with John Kerry. John Kerry started this Our Oceans Conference back in 2014. And so it's really raising awareness about ocean issues. And I think Alaska is very much in the center. You have so much ocean territory, and you do such a great job at managing and protecting it, and lessons that we can learn from. So, it's sharing those things. I mean, the national park system in the US, those kinds of things is things that we can all learn from. And, a lot of times sometimes we're driven by money. For example, deep sea mining, it's all about, we want to get out there and mine, but if you're going to mine, let's make sure you're not destroying the environment at the same time. Do it responsibly. And that's what we're asking, is go study it, understand it. If you're creating large plumes in the ocean, how is that going to impact the tuna stocks that we have? How is that going to impact, those are things that we want answered. And if we're going to do something, let's do it right and make sure that the ocean, which really provides life for everyone on the planet, is protected and used to the benefit of all mankind.
I like that. So one of the things that you recently spearheaded, I believe, is a new stable coin for your country. Talk to us about that. I think that, doing that, you're going to be on the cutting edge, on the front edge of crypto. I think crypto is here to stay. There are some speed bumps along the way, obviously, but talk to me about what that is and why you guys did that.
Well, one of our biggest challenges, and something I knew before I ran into office, is Palau is very much a tourism-dependent economy and fishing. And during COVID, 30% of our economy is wiped out because of the tourism dependency. And we knew that one of the things that we had to do was diversify our economy. And what are ways to diversify your economy? One of the things that we always believed in is that we should look at the financial sector, see what opportunities are out there, and blockchain, cryptocurrency is really the new frontier, right? And you spend thousands of dollars to go out and mine for gold, right? Heavy equipment, burning diesel, doing Bitcoin mining is very similar. You can use energy to mine for those coins. So, we said, well, what are ways maybe we can, as a small country with a smaller government, maybe we can adapt things quicker and introduce ourselves to maybe new concepts that really provide people with economic freedom. I mean, this whole digital technology, Web3, blockchain technology, I think really opens up digital freedom. And so stablecoin is just a part of our kind of overhaul plan. We first launched what we call a digital residency program. And for example, there's some countries in the world and some jurisdictions in the world that don't allow for trading of cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. So what we said in Palau is, well, we'll allow you to become a digital resident. And as a digital resident, you can use that residency and you can have crypto accounts on Binance or on any other platform, and then be able to trade that currency. So
that's gonna be popular.
Yeah. So we already have 5,000 that have signed up.
Wow.
So it's growing. We're not Estonia is really the leader in this space. We're learning and trying to come up with more programs. And one of the things that we understood is that it would be beneficial to Palau to have a stable coin. Palau uses US dollars, so it's US backed. And that stable coin will be US dollar backed, so it's $1 for one stable coin. But really, the ability to trade in crypto, into stable coin, and out and in and out, and that's one side of it. So if we develop it, it comes to that point. That's what we see as the potential. But on the local side, what we saw is, I give you a simple example. Because we use US dollars in Palau, that means we use pennies, quarters, dimes, nickels. And one of our biggest challenges in Palau is the banks that are here, and which are US banks. We have Bank of Hawaii, Bank of Guam, and they don't like to bring in the coins, pennies, quarters, because it's heavy and expensive to transport, right? So we're always running out of coins in the stores. And so providing a Palau stablecoin or a digital wallet, now we can help it ease the transactions in Palau, get away from using currency. It's more efficient, but also we found that there's some people that just don't put money in banks. Yeah. So giving them a digital wallet, this also opens up new opportunities for the unbankable. So, and that'll maybe translate into people giving e-loans to each other and other forms of digital payments and digital banking that I think we're not tapped into yet. But the world is already going into them. So it's really embracing that new technology. The advantage of being small and nimble is being able to adapt to it. So we're excited about it. We're hoping to launch locally 200 members to try to test it out, test the software. We're working with a company called Ripple that also has the XRP coin. Founder Chris Larson, was very generous to say, we want to work with you and help you launch this. And they have what they call they have their own ledger, and that's really how they're helping us to create these digital wallets and be able to do this. So,
that sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
so we're excited.
One of the things that I've noticed about your country, just looking from afar from Alaska, is it seems to be a country that places a great deal and emphasis on their faith, their faith community. So for you, how does faith play a role in your job that you have? It seems like this is a nation that takes faith very seriously. So how does that play out in your everyday life?
Well, Palau is the Spanish arrived here back in the 1500s, introduced religion to Palau. So Palau, we would say, large majority of Palauans, I would say 90% of Palauans are Christian. Mm-hmm. Even what we call our local religion has ties. They believe in God, and so it's very much a Christian a nation. Palau. One of the things that I always share that's maybe different from other countries is our programs. Our government programs, I think, are almost run like a church service, because we have an opening prayer, we have a
I love it,
anthem, and then we have a closing prayer. We have a benediction, and I think we're blessed because of that. And I think the people of Palau also feel that, and they. So I have a press conference. When I have a press conference, I have prayer before we begin. We have to be thankful for what God has blessed us with, and as good stewards, we need to take care of it, and that's just, I think, what we've been taught and over the years, and it ties into with the way our culture is too. So, yeah,
that's pretty awesome. So, what's one thing in the next 12 months that you're going to be focusing on for your country? Give us a 60,000-foot view of some of those high-level policies that you're going to be working on.
Well, I think you brought it up first. We need to get those planes to be able to carry you to Palau.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right now, I'm kind of stuck with the United monopoly. United is the only carrier that comes through Guam to Palau, but we're thankful that they're flying. We're hoping that China Airlines will increase its flights. They're flying from Taiwan to Palau. They have 2 flights a week. That's another option. I don't know if they fly to Anchorage, but we used to have flights from Korea. Asian and Korean Airlines used to fly to Palau. We're hoping that they would start again. We've just launched a new service with the Australian government. They now have a flight that comes from Brisbane to Port Moresby, New Guinea, and then on to Palau. So it's really developing, Palau as a hub and reigniting our tourism industry, which is at this point, we're at 25% of where we were in 2019. So we need to get it back. It's an important part of our economy. And, of course, we've launched these other initiatives like, the digital residency, the digital stablecoin. These are things that are hopefully can develop a new economy. I mean, one of the things we want to do is encourage this to be a place where digital nomads come and hang out. Why not hang out in paradise and work? If you're doing a gaming program, you're doing any type of programming, you can program from anywhere. And Palau has got one fiber optic cable. We have another one that's hooking up at the end of the year. So we have the capacity.
So online entrepreneurs can come live in Palau and live the dream on the beach while earning their online income.
That's our. So one of the programs we're having is setting up a corporate registry online to try to attract those people to come and, hang out. And
I like that.
yeah, and I think it's a win-win. Enjoy paradise, provide some money to our economy to help us, provide a good standard of living for our people, and hopefully we make a happy citizens, right?
So what's one thing that you hope to, let's say you run into somebody who's never even heard of Palau, you're at a conference in New York City, and what's the one thing you want to make sure people know about when it comes to your country?
Well, first of all, it's warm. The climate is warm and the people are warm. So please come and enjoy what God has blessed us with. We like to say it's heaven here on earth, and we have beautiful treasures in the ocean for you to dive and explore, and a beautiful culture that's very unique. Yes,
Awesome.
if you come.
Well, any last minute, I want to be mindful of your time. Any last minute thoughts before we head off here? 25 minutes has went by in a flash.
Oh, well, I wanted to share, since we were talking about stablecoin, there's two types of money that originated from Palau. I think one is the Yapese stone money that was mined in Palau and transported to the Yap. So there's these big discs that it doesn't matter where they're located. The families know the history, and they're transferred by the legends about that stone that was carved out of the Rock Highlands here in Palau. The Palauans thought that was a little too big because they're big stones. Some of them is as much as 8 foot in diameter. So we go with the money beads, and they're made out of we say these stones that arrive from somewhere, and there's legends behind these stones. But they're money beads, and they're small and even smaller, and much easier to transport. But the same principle applies. So each stone, each bead has a story, and it was used to pay for this funeral or this house or buy a boat, and it was transferred from this sister to that brother, and so that history is the blockchain. Keep track of the value and what that bead is worth. So I just as it's interesting that now, thousands of years later, we're now launching on the new stablecoin, which is on the new platform, the new blockchain.
You're starting a new tradition.
New tradition, yes.
Well, President Whips, I thank you so much for joining us on the Must Read Alaska show. If somebody's listening and you are an entrepreneur, maybe you just work remotely and you're looking for paradise, I want to encourage you to go Google Palau, buy a one-way ticket from United, go check it out, because this country is beautiful. The people, every person that I've interacted with on your staff is amazing. And President, you're always welcome back on, and we really appreciate you joining us here again on the Must Read Alaska show.
Well, thank you again so much for the time. Thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about Palau. And
awesome.
Look forward to everyone visiting.
I love it. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we want to thank our show sponsor, the University of Alaska. You can go check them out at empower.alaska.edu, and I'll put in the podcast description all of the Visit Palau links that I can find. Until next time, I'm John Quick from somewhere in Alaska. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.